Guys, I want to move on to something about omega-3 and 6. So we spoke about it a little while now, about how a lot of these fats are high in omega-6. Now, there's something you've probably heard of, and that is a ratio. There's this common thing about an omega-6 to an omega-3 ratio, right? Now, I want to hear your thoughts on this, Jay, because I found a paper, and I've seen a few other people actually talk about this, and it suggested that the use of this ratio system is pretty much meaningless if we were to compare it to just getting enough omega-3 into the diet. Essentially, we need to look at the deficiency of EPA and DHA in the diet as opposed to messing around with some little ratio.
Right, and I mean, like it colloquially, like when you get omega-3s, a lot of times in food, it also comes with omega-6. So if you're consuming a lot of omega-3, you're probably going to consume a lot of omega-6 with that. They're sort of like not like a package deal, but they often come together in food products. So, I mean, like stressing over the ratio is really like focusing on the trees compared to the forest. The ratio doesn't really matter as long as you're getting adequate levels of omega-3 fatty acids. And as we could tell from the literature, having high amounts of omega-6 seems to be protective against a lot of chronic health problems, especially associated with cardiovascular disease. So why would you really focus on the ratio to begin with? You should just be focusing on getting enough essential, fatty acids in your diet and consuming high quality foods, which you would get from Mediterranean style diet anyway.
I mean, out of all the things we're trying to kind of control in regards to our health in life, is it even realistic to sustainably control like a ratio?
No, it's not. It's foolish.
Yeah.
It's really focusing on the minutia of your diet that doesn't really make that much sense. It doesn't make sense like that to do that.
And it's just something we're supposed to, control every single day we wake up.
The one argument I've seen playing like devil's advocate here for a second, the one argument I've seen is if perhaps someone's on more of a predominantly plant-based diet, right, and their omega-6 and 3 is coming from that. So you've got obviously DHA and EPA, which is from normally an animal-based thing, okay? And if you go to like plant-based, it's ALA, isn't it? And what they come up with, their little sort of counter for this is that there's like the way it gets broken down in the body. It's like the enzyme system of it. So if you get it from DHA and EPA, the enzymes aren't fighting over each other to get that to absorb it. Whereas you do it from a plant-based system, and you have it with the ALA, they're fighting over the same enzyme essentially, and that's why you have to watch the ratio. That's something I've seen. Bear in mind, this is from someone who was in the carnivore crowd. I'm just going to put this out there. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
So my question to them would be, does like this fighting over the enzyme actually lead to any sort of meaningful health outcomes? Mm-hmm. So this hypothetical fighting over the enzyme, like if I consume, let's say, this amount of omega-3 and this amount of omega-6, will that actually lead to some sort of detrimental health outcome? Will the omega-6 just somehow take over my body and just not let the omega-3 to do what it has to do? Or is this, like I said, biomechanical speculation? Is this does it really physiologically play out? Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that consuming, high levels of omega-6 is really detrimental to one's health, let alone in context of consuming that more than omega-3.
Yeah, sure.
It's just not there.
I think,
so...
If you hit the nail on the head there, kind of what I've said, you kind of hit what I thought you were going to say, is that people will say these big fancy things like enzymes and fighting over it. Like they'll do these big buzzwords, and people are like, yeah, that makes sense. That sounds quite. And this person will they'll be a doctor probably. They're normally a doctor. These people, and they'll be like, yeah, there's these enzymes in the body.
Or an engineer.
They're fighting over it, and then next thing you know, everyone's like, yeah, that sounds legit. And then it spreads like wildfire. Next thing you know, everyone's scared to have too much omega-6 to omega-3.
Right, and I think you have to, just like even when I exercise science with you guys, you have to look at the context. Is this biomechanical thing that's going on will actually lead to something? That's the major question. Not, is there a potential? No. Will it actually lead to something? And many times you find that it doesn't lead to something, or it doesn't lead to what people think it leads to, because the body's pretty fucking complicated. There's a lot of different enzymes. There's a lot of different hormones. There's a lot of different working parts that work synergistically to make sure that you're alive. So it's not just one thing that's doing this action and that's it. It's a lot that goes into it.